Finding your passion is the key to your success. Taught by Tracy. Good evening, one and all. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all for the Mega Career Guidance Event Avenue 2022 #Discover You, hosted by Indian School Pausha under the aegis of Board of Directors, Indian Schools in Oman. The welcome address will be followed by a brief introduction and a video on our eminent speaker. Then we shall invite the esteemed speaker for her presentation. After the presentation, we shall request our guest speaker to answer a few questions raised by the attendees in the question and answer segment. The continuing session will be taken up by the university spokesperson. The detailing of the courses available and the process of admission will be put forth. We shall conclude the session with a vote of thanks.
Success comes from curiosity, concentration, perseverance, and self-criticism. Quoted by Albert Einstein.
What a fantastic quote to begin the session with.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Avenir 2022, #Discover You, a global career guidance program launched by Indian School Bowsher under the aegis of the Board of Directors of Indian Schools in Oman. On behalf of Indian School Bowsher, I, Anuradha of Class 9,
and I, Supriya of Class 9,
of expressing a profound gratitude to His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq Al Said for the altruistic and noble benevolence showered on the Indian diaspora in the Sultanate of Oman. May the Almighty shower His choicest blessings on His Majesty, and may this nation experience peace and everlasting prosperity.
We are happy to welcome all the students, parents, and teachers for being a part of Avenue 2022 #Discover You. Thank you one and all for your benign presence here this evening. It is with sheer joy and great pride that I take the task of introducing our speaker today, Dr. Annie Bangtagan Demir, Associate Professor in the Mechanical Engineering, Global College of Engineering and Technology, Oman. Dr. Annie has done her PhD in language education. She held the position of a senior lecturer and quality assurance coordinator at the University of Technology and Applied Sciences, Al Masana. She is a distinguished Toastmaster and published author. She is also the chairperson, Filipino Community Social Club, Oman. We would like to request the audience to kindly post their queries in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please join me and listen to our speaker, Dr. Annie, on her topic, Careers of the Future, Understanding the Global Trends in Education.
Thank you very much
for
that wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. Yes, so I am from the University of Technology and Applied Sciences. That's right. Okay, so to the Board of Directors, officials, administrators, faculty and staff of the Indian schools in Oman, our parents, to the organizers of Avenir 2022, #Discover You, to our guests, parents, our beloved students, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant afternoon to all of you. It is an honor to be invited to Avenir 2022, and I thank all of you for having me here today. And I am indeed privileged to be given this chance to share with you some information about future careers in education, and at the same time, share a bit of my personal experience as an educator with our future professionals, our dear students. And in the end, I hope that whatever I will be sharing today will help provide real-life guideposts to you, so that when you pursue your college education, you will know that there is an array of options for you to choose from. You know, that of course depends on your skills, on your interests, and your ultimate motivation in choosing a course over the other. And So I think what I'm trying to say is that my job this afternoon is not to convince you to become an educator. That's not my intention. My task this afternoon is to share with you a career path which you might want to consider when you enter college. So together this afternoon, we are going to explore possible career paths in the field of education, while allowing me from time to time to also share a bit of my personal experience that may serve relevance, or at least demonstrate the concepts that I'm going to share with you this afternoon. So let me share my screen with you. Is the screen there?
Yes, it's visible, ma'am.
Thank you so much. All right. You know, whenever we talk about the future, actually, there are two things that might happen to you or to us. First, we feel excited talking about it. And probably at the same time, we feel worried. You know, we are excited because we know and we hope and we are expecting that the future is going to be brighter, going to be better than the present. And at the same time, we might feel worried and anxious because we don't know what the future holds, you know. But I have to be honest with everyone here, to our dear students, nothing is certain in life, you know. Nobody can tell what's going to happen tomorrow. But even so, what is important for us to do, and the best thing actually for us to do, is to prepare for the future. As they say, today's preparation determines tomorrow's achievements. Okay, so together, let us take a look at how we are going to prepare for the future. In fact, the right question that you should be asking yourselves now is, what should I be doing today to prepare for my future? You know? And I know that you probably have been exposed to these concepts and ideas already. Maybe your teachers have discussed this inside your classroom. Your parents have even, talked about this with you. Maybe your brothers and sisters, or maybe even previous speakers have discussed this with you. But allow me, dear students, to reiterate these points, because these are really important. When preparing for the future, we have to make sure that you have a vision for yourself. Set a vision for yourself. What do you want to become in the future? How do you want to see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years? That's the vision, your desired future state. Maybe some of you here would like to become a renowned international educator. Why not? Or maybe you want to become a multi-awarded engineer or a scientist, for that matter. What is important is you have a vision for yourself. And of course, we have to understand that when we have a vision for ourselves, we have to have goals or course of action. What should I do in order to come close, or in order for me to achieve that desired future state? All right. So when we talk about goals or course of action, this would be the activities that you will be embarking on, which are supposed to be aligned to your future, to your dream, or to that future state that you want to be in. So let's go back to my example earlier. I wanted, for example, to become a renowned international educator. So maybe one of the goals or one of the actions that you will consider doing is to enroll in a degree in education, for one. Okay, because you cannot become an educator, of course, without finishing a degree in education. While, of course, not necessarily in the field of education, but at least something related to teaching. And maybe you can also include there in your goals to enroll in an international university. So I think the point here is that when you have a clear vision, then you have to make sure that whatever you're doing today is actually helping you getting closer to that vision. All right. Whether you are 15, 16, 13, it doesn't matter. The earlier you prepare, the better. And of course, when preparing for the future, you have to connect, you have to collaborate, you have to create. When I say connect, I mean you connect with the right people. And please take note of my adjective there. I said right. You can connect with anyone, but be careful though, because the company you keep will definitely have an influence over the things that you do, the way you think, the way you look at life. So it's important that as future professionals, as students of today, you have to consider filtering the kind of people that you're connecting with. But of course, as I said, it is important also to connect. You have to connect with others to seek guidance, to seek for advice. And even as adults, we connect with other people also because we need people's guidance. We need other people's advice. There's nothing wrong in doing that. What I'm saying is that when you connect, you have to be careful. You have to filter the people that you're connecting with. Choose the right crowd. And collaborate is you collaborate with like-minded people for inspiration. You have a vision for yourself. You want to become someone like this or like that in the future. So find people who have the same passion, the same drive, the same, frame of mind, like they wanted to become someone as well in the future. Collaborate with them, work with them, be inspired by what they do. As they say, no man is an island because we are all social beings. That's true, not only in life, that is also true in your educational journey. So start collaborating with like-minded people, connect with the right people, and of course, create opportunities for growth. I know that you're doing well. You are really doing well in your studies. You are good children to your parents. But what I would like to share this afternoon is that do not be contented with the good, all right? But also do not focus on perfection. Instead, you have to set your eyes on excellence. Oh, why did I say that? Because when your focus is perfection, you have the tendency to be looking at your mistakes, your failures. And when you keep doing that, there's a tendency that you get depressed and you don't like that. You will get demotivated along the way, and that's not good. So what I want you to do is to look at excellence. Because when you focus on excellence, you will celebrate your small achievements, big achievements, and your motivation will remain high. So as you keep on working towards the achievement of your future, then you still have that energy to move on. You still have that motivation to keep improving yourself. And well, excellence is achievable. Perfection, I'm not so sure about it, right? So I think these are important points for you to always bear in mind. As I have said, you probably have heard all about this, but it pays to refresh your memory. It pays to keep on reminding each other that in order for us to be better prepared for what is yet to come, we have to be having a vision, we have to have our goals, we have to connect, collaborate, and create opportunities for growth. All right, so now let's move on to my next slide. And this is where a little bit of the part where I'm going to share with you a little bit of my personal background. And as mentioned earlier, I'm a lecturer. So I'm a teacher, in other words, and I'm working here at the university in Oman since 2013. But believe me when I say this, I never dreamt to become a teacher. I dreamt of becoming an international media practitioner and a lawyer. That's the reason why my bachelor's degree is in mass communication, But, sometimes life happens. And it turned out that after finishing my college, I got my first job in mass media, and I found out that working in mass media is not as glamorous as I thought it was, at least for me, of course. I'm not saying I cannot speak for everybody. It's just my personal experience. So that's what I found out. And also, I realized that enrolling in a law school is not at all possible because I got married at the age of 25. I had 3 children already. So you see, things were difficult for me back then. And so what did I do? I took my chance in taking up the licensure examination for teachers in the Philippines, and I passed, right? So in other words, I turned things around. I did not end up becoming a lawyer. I did not end up becoming an international media practitioner, but I managed to work things out. It's because I was prepared. How was I prepared? Back in college, while taking up my bachelor's degree in mass communication, I also made use of my spare time in enrolling in education. So by the end of my 4 years in university, I was able to qualify myself for the national board examinations for teachers. That is why when mass communication or mass media did not work for me, I have other skills with me. I have other qualifications. And so I got my first teaching job. You see, and when I had my first teaching job, of course, I did not stop there. I had to pursue higher education. I had to take up management roles. I had to continue doing research, publishing books. So even if I did not end up being a media practitioner, internationally, whenever I have the chance to prepare a research paper or to speak in front of people, I get to travel from time to time. So I think what I'm saying here is that in life, sometimes things do not go as planned. Okay, that's the reality of life. But do not be afraid, because when you have the right education, you have the proper skills, you have the proper preparation, you can do great in life. So I hope you do not forget that as you grow older, as you start embarking on your college journey. I hope you will not forget that when things don't work or go as planned, there will always be something better for you out there. Now, on that note, I would like to also share 2 important realizations that I have had. And first thing is that you have to understand that your degree in college is not the end. It is a means to an end, which means to say that your future is not just determined by the degree that you're going to complete or finish in college. There are many factors that will determine your future. And of course, your degree is one of them, but that's not all. Okay. And another thing is that your dreams in life do not expire. I know this is too early for me to be saying this with 13-year-old students, 16-year-old students, but I want to say this because when things happen in life, I hope you will never forget that whatever you have dreamt to become, there's no time limit for that, no expiration whatsoever. Earlier, I mentioned that I actually dreamt of becoming a lawyer, and I did not do that. But last year, when the Philippines or one of the universities in the Philippines announced that they are offering an online course for Juris Doctor, that's a law program, I should say, I took that opportunity. At 42, I'm still enrolled, in that program. And I know it's a long way for me to go. I don't even know if I can complete the course, but what I'm saying here is that at least I'm trying. I did not stop on that dream. I did not give up on that dream. And I hope you will do the same. Now, so let's move and take a look at the next slide. Here would be the question probably that we are going to ask now, because I am here to share with you a career path in the field of education, is why should I, or why do we become a teacher? Why should you choose teaching, for example, as a career in the future? You know, and just like any other profession for that matter, there are many reasons that you can think of. And of course, your reason will be different from someone's reason as well. And it doesn't matter. You know, the reason, the motivation behind that doesn't matter. What I would like to share with you this afternoon is that when you take up teaching or education as a career, or I mean, teaching as a career, you will realize that, of course, rewards come in many forms, just like any other profession, as I said earlier. And when we talk about rewards, there are many kinds of rewards. I would like to start with the intrinsic rewards. You know, intrinsic is something that you have within. And as educators, when you become educators, one of these intrinsic rewards that you will be having or you will be experiencing would be the sense of fulfillment, fulfillment because you know that while you are doing your job, you are also contributing to making a difference in the life of the young people. And that is really satisfying, something that is intrinsic, something that is internally felt, something that is internally experienced as a teacher. Of course, there other professions would have intrinsic rewards as well. They have other sense of fulfillment as well. Now, for extrinsic rewards or something, the benefits that you get, external benefits, I would say, maybe I can give you an example. Let's talk, of course, about the salary of being a teacher. Well, the salary of being a teacher is not something that we can really say we are really proud of, because we know that in the market, in the job market, we are not the highest paid professionals. But I have to tell you this, when you become a teacher, the salary of a teacher can pay the rent. The salary of the teacher can bring food to the table. The salary of the teacher can bring children to school. So what I'm saying is that you can still live a comfortable life as a teacher. So that is one thing that I can think about when it comes to extrinsic rewards. Now, employability is another story here, because when you become a teacher, your chances of being employed are quite high, because the demand for teachers do not actually stop, right? And contrary to the beliefs of others that robots will actually take the place of teachers, that's not really true. And I would like to share with you the pronouncements of UNESCO as well as the follow-up research that was conducted by Pearson Company sometime in 2018, 2020, I think. So according to UNESCO, the world needs almost 69 million new teachers to reach the 2030 education goals. And as mentioned by the research by Pearson Company, there will be a 73% increase in teaching jobs between now, which is actually 2018, 2020, and then 2030. So as I said earlier, if you decide to become a teacher, employability is actually good. Your chances of being employed are actually high. All right, let's take a look at the US, for example. I know that the US doesn't speak for the world, but I would just want to use this one as an example to validate the point that was shared by Pearson and UNESCO. According to research in the United States of America, 77,900 job openings for high school teachers are projected each year over the decade, meaning for the next 10 years. And if we look at the quick facts here, we were talking about extrinsic rewards earlier. Let me just point out the median pay, the middle pay. For teachers in the United States, they're actually getting as much as $61,820 per year. And well, of course, that is, I think that is before taxes. And job outlook for 21 to 31, it's growing. It's 5%. It's growing 5% yearly. And according to researchers, this is as fast as average. So a little bit on the average, but what's important here is it's growing, it doesn't stop. So as I mentioned from the beginning of my talk, my job this afternoon is to share with you career paths that you might want to consider when enrolling in college. And I would like to point out that their research is conducted to identify what kind of teachers or what fields of specialization in the teaching field would we be needing in the 2030. So according to research, most in-demand teachers by 2030, we have the language teachers, English as a second language teachers, or the ESL teachers. And the reason for that, according to the research, of course, is that 1 in 5 kids, all right, speaks a language besides English at home, which means to say that when these kids now will go to school, will go to school, then they would be needing language teachers, English language teachers in particular. So then the demand for these types of teachers will still continue. And aside from that, we also have, of course, the demand for science teachers, social studies teachers, special education teachers, math teachers. I chose to include this in this presentation, even if they are really available online, because I wanted to, I hope, highlight the idea that even if the world is fastly evolving, we are now in the technology age, as they say, teachers will not run out of fashion. We will still be needing teachers in these fields, I think what will change though in the future is that the kind of, the mode of learning, the required skills from the teacher will also, of course, be evolving over time. But even if that's the case, we will still be needing human teachers in the future classrooms. Okay. And also there is an interesting emerging career that you might want to consider when enrolling in college in the field of education. That is the human experience teacher. I do not know if some of your teachers have already mentioned this one to you in your classrooms, but this is something really interesting and something new. And the human experience teacher, according to this researcher, is a teacher who focuses on social and emotional learning. So compared to other types of teachers, this kind of teacher will not use textbooks, they teach children, or they teach learners based on experience in relation to social. And so they're kind of focused on social and emotional learning. I am yet to know more about this, because so far, because I tried to get some information from friends before coming to the presentation today. Unfortunately, not a lot of people know something about this, but it is an emerging path or career path in the field of education. So if you want to also consider this one, I suggest that you prepare yourself about this, know more about this career path in the field of education, to be a human experience teacher. Now, I mentioned earlier that we are not going to see the world stopping, or we will not be seeing the teachers running out of employment, or that we are not going to be needing teachers in the near future. No, we are not going to do that. We will still be needing teachers. But as I said, the requirements, the skills, and the kinds of teachers that we will be needing will probably change over time. As you can see now, in fact, we are all experiencing this one. You as students and us as educators, because we are asked to do this, we are asked to do that in order for us to keep abreast of what's happening in society, of the changes in terms of technology, for example. So the question that people ask now, which I would like to share with you the answer to, is that how are we going to future-proof teachers? In your case, as future professionals, how are we going to make sure that you are future ready to take up the teaching career or the teaching profession? Okay, so I tried to go through researches and tried to read some interviews as well, and I came up with these 5 different skills that the world will be needing or will be requiring from future teachers like you, if some of you are considering to take this up in college. So according to findings, researches, the future teacher is expected to be tech savvy. And I think this is self-explanatory. Nowadays, we're doing online classes. As you can see, this online event is not a usual thing in the past. This is something new to people. At least to us, for example. And in order for us to be able to do this as educators, then we have to understand what's the trend in technology. How are you going to do this? How are you going to conduct online classes and so forth and so on? And with the proliferation of artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, future educators, future teachers should know these things. They should be technologically fluent. They should know what's going on in the field of technology, because it will now be about incorporating all these skills. It's not just about knowing your subject matter and knowing how to present the subject matter to the students. You should also know how to work with technology. That's one of the things. And I think we cannot deny that. Now we are experiencing that one. We are seeing that as a trend, and that will continue to be a trend in the future. And future teachers like you, okay, if we want to future-proof our future teachers, you should also be flexible. Flexible, maybe in terms of personality, that is fine, that's counted. Flexible also in the way that you deliver your lessons. You have to be flexible in a way that you can do remote teaching, you can do face-to-face, things like that. Again, related to technology and all these changes that we are experiencing in our society. So we have to be flexible in order for us to respond to the demands of society and to the needs of our learners. Now, future teachers should also be creative and imaginative. I think there's no need for me to really explain this in detail, because as learners now, you know that for teachers to be effective, you can actually evaluate, right? You can tell, oh, this teacher is engaging, this teacher is a little bit boring, because the activities that we do in class, or the activities that she wants us to do, are pretty much basic. There's no imagination, no creativity incorporated in it, something like that. All right, so future teachers should be creative and imaginative, and at the same time, this creativity and imaginativeness can also help the future teacher address the different needs of different learners. Today, the multiple intelligences of learners is very much pronounced. Okay, in the past, when we talk about multiple intelligences, it's just something that we read about as teachers. Now, in the future, that would be something that you really have to attend to as future educators. Now, of course, we are doing that, all right? But all the more, that it's going to be more pronounced when you become teachers. And of course, we cannot deny the fact that future teachers, just like the present teachers, should be excellent communicators, because I think that's part of the job. You cannot put across your ideas or your lessons without, you being an effective and excellent communicator. Emotionally intelligent. EQ is very important for future teachers, not only IQ. I'm not saying that IQ is not part of this one, but what I'm saying is in order for future teachers to be able to better deliver their lessons to the future learners, then they also have to make sure that they are emotionally intelligent, they can connect with different types of personalities, they can work with different kinds of learners. Again, my list is not exhaustive, but I'm sharing this with you because I know that, as I said, Avenir is here because the organizers, the board of directors, the officials of Indian schools believe that it's important to share these concepts with learners like you, so that as you prepare for your future, then at least you have an idea as to what types of skills should I be developing. How can I do this in order to be as skillful in this particular field? Something like that. So I hope that with this limited list that I'm sharing with you today, at least you will have an idea what types of skills that we will be needing for future teachers. Okay, so I think I'm given that time to really, my time is almost up, and I would like to just end this presentation with this quote from Miss Malala. Let us remember that one book, one pen, one child, and one teacher can change the world. So if you are considering becoming a teacher in the future, or you want to be an educator in the future, then I hope this will motivate you all the more to pursue that dream, because we can affect change, just being a teacher can actually help the society change for the better. So I think that's it. And thank you very much, everybody.
That was an extraordinary and inspiring session by you, ma'am. Your creative and informative session enlightened us and kept each one of us engaged. Now, we would like to request our speaker, Dr. Annie, to kindly answer a few queries put forth by the audience. For this, may I now invite the moderator of the session, Ms. Anita Solman, to pose some questions from the audience to you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Anuradha. Thank you very much, ma'am, for an informative and impressive session on future trends in education, especially teaching as a career. The presentation was indeed one of the enchanting journey, and our students would have definitely benefited from the session. There are a few questions which I would like you to address. The first one, ma'am, how do we understand who is the right kind of people and connect to them?
All right, thank you so much for doing that. I don't know what happened to my screen. I cannot find the tab. All right, thank you so much for that question. How do we understand and identify the right people? That's actually a very good question. And I wouldn't say that I'm a good judge of character, but I think when it comes to connecting with the right people, especially for our dear children and dear students, it would be nice to, when you are looking for a friend, for example, or you're trying to connect with strangers or people that you don't know before, it would be nice to ask for guidance from your parents, you try to introduce them first to your parents, to your brothers and sisters, or even to your teacher, because from there you can actually they can tell you whether you're in the right crowd or not. And of course that would mean that the responsibility does not lie on the student alone. It is something that we should do collaboratively. When we see our students hanging out with the wrong crowd, it's our responsibility as teachers and parents to remind them, or maybe to at least let them see or realize that this crowd is not proper for them. Because when I say the right crowd or the right people, I'm referring to these people who are helpful for you, in your growth, helpful in your journey towards the achievement of your vision. This is something like that. I hope I clarified that. I know it's not hard and fast rule, but I believe that is one thing that we can do in order for us to at least ensure that we are hanging with the right crowd. So maybe you can also think about, what are these people trying to do with me? Are they bringing out the best in me? Are they supporting me towards my improvement, or are they trying to pull me down and leading me to a path that I know will bring me to failure, or that will destroy me as a person, will destroy my future as a student, for example? I think these things should all come into play when we are trying to choose the right people or the right crowd.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question: are there any tips on how to overcome failures and become a better person?
Wow. Yeah. We all want to be successful, and I wish there is one tip or one thing or a common procedure for all of us to become successful. It's really difficult to say that, but I would like to just share few tips maybe that I have applied in my personal life, which I also captured in my book, In Pursuit of Happiness and Success. When you want to become successful, the first thing that you want to do, of course, as I said in today's presentation, is to have a clear vision of your future. Because if you have that, if you are clear about what you want to become in the future, then you are guided with your everyday activities. Let me just give a very simple example here, which probably will not apply so much to our students, but maybe to some adults who are here. And I hope from that example, our students can see a bit of can at least see the answer to that question. Like, I wanted to, let's say, save money because I want to come up with my own business, for example, after finishing college, maybe. All right. So that's the future state that I would like to have. I want to be successful in that. However, today, what I'm doing is that I keep on spending my money. I have nothing left in my bank or in my bank account. So if you're going to do that through the years, then at the end of, let's say, 4 years, because you wanted to save enough money by the time you graduate college, when you graduate college, then you did not actually do anything that will help you become successful in that particular endeavor that you wanted to have. So now, if you're talking about tips, sorry, I'm going around, but now I'm a little bit confused as well. When it comes to tips, okay, so the first thing that you have to do is you have to have a clear vision of what you want to become in the future. Align your activities so that you are not wasting your present, and you are ensured that whatever small thing you do today is helping you get closer to that future. Because as I said, there are no hard and fast rules that we can all follow in order for us to become successful. Because again, success is subjective. And success can be measured in in different ways. But if we're referring to being successful in the future as professionals, I would say that what we need to do now is to decide, what do I want to become in the future? And I have to now come up with a plan and sets of actions in order for me to reach that future dream or future state. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I just want to ask you one question, ma'am. Is there a special course to be a teacher of human experience? Is there any courses available for that?
That's I tried to do some research about that because I'm thinking of maybe in a certain university there is a particular course that you have to finish to qualify as a human experience teacher, but so far I did not see anything or any particular course. So to my mind, maybe for a human experience teacher, what you need to do is to get extra training, because it's experiential learning. And I actually saw some videos about that, and they are like talking about, okay, you base your teaching on experience, you attack emotional intelligence, you attack social skills. So it's some sort of, there is no specific course as of now, I would say, that will qualify you to become a human experience teacher.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for the insightful answers. We have many queries. And yes, our students can access the mobile app and the questions will be directly addressed. We request our participants to kindly fill in the feedback forms posted in the chat box. Thank you so much, ma'am. Over to the comparers.
Thank you, ma'am, for all your support and guidance given to the large audience for attending to their concerns so patiently during the course of the discussion.
It's time for us to move on to the second part of the session, the time to meet the university spokesperson, Ms. JAMILA SHAIKH, International Regional Representative, University of Delaware. She's the Indian representative for University of Delaware. She has over 9 years of experience in the higher education sector. She takes pride in people management, interpersonal skills, and good at building and nurturing relationships. She interacts with counselors and students and grateful for all the value added. Her interests include traveling, interacting with people, reading, learning, and relearning as required. Let's all watch a glimpse of the Delaware University.
The biggest ideas don't always start big. They begin as a tiny spark, brought to life by a shared desire to change what's possible. From inventing the touchscreen technology that connects you to the world, to outfitting the astronauts who orbit around it. At the University of Delaware, the ideas bring us together. And together, we make them giant.
Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much, my dear, for that wonderful introduction. And good evening, everyone. My name is JAMILA, and I represent University of Delaware as their international regional representative. And today I'll be taking you through some of our important highlights for the University of Delaware. And I'll be taking the questions at the end of the session. So if I may have the presentation, please. Sure. All right. So I'm sure you must have heard about the University of Delaware. As you can see, it's a classic American university which was established back in 1743. It's almost 200 plus years back. Let me tell you, we are the first university that had the first 3 signers of Declaration of Independence for the United States. So when the 50 states were formed, the first 3 signers were from the University of Delaware. So we have our roots back then. And it's proud to say that we were existing even before the states were formed. Can we move on to the next slide, please? All right. So if you've heard of Delaware and the thing that comes to your mind when we say United States, I'm sure it's New York and Washington, D.C. These two places pop up in your head. So yes, we are very much in between and very, very strategically located. 2 hours away drive from New York and 2 hours away drive from Washington, D.C. We also have a train station on campus to make commute easy for students. That also increases a lot of accessibility, tourism, culture, internship opportunities. Because let me tell you, University of Delaware is in the state of Delaware and we are a public research university. We are a tax-free state, which has the best cost of living. Why? Because all of these Fortune 500 companies have their offices in and around Delaware, as they save a lot of taxes. And that helps the students in terms of internship opportunities, job options. You can either do your research, you can do your internships in New York, come back to the campus. We have more than 650 database of all of these employers who come and recruit students on our campus. It's in the city of Newark, which is a very welcoming community, and it's a college town. The majority population is students, where you have friends from across the globe, basically. Okay, moving on to the next slide. All right, University of Delaware is a very, very reputed university in excellence. We are among the top 100 institutions in the nation, and as you see some of our rankings, we are ranked number 38 in public universities. Something that I'm personally very proud of is our 4-year graduation rate, and we rank number 9 for that. Why? Because we are among the top 20 in the world for a student satisfaction. So we have a dedicated team of Office of International Students and Scholars that actually sit with you. There's a dedicated advisor to take you through the whole journey of your whole experience at the university, right from the time when you reach the airport, like picking up from the airport till the time you graduate, and also further, because we are very well connected with our alums as well. We have more than, I think, we have alums across the globe, and of course, Middle East is some of our very, very important regions right now. And we keep on traveling and visiting schools, connecting with the government bodies. With that, moving to the next slide. All right. It's also ranked America's best value college because of the rent ROI that we call, after the investment of 4 years of undergrad, if you do your master's and PhD, what are you going to get? Why is it ranked best value college? Because the kind of opportunities that you get after your course is completed, in times of job opportunities, in times of getting credits, also in terms of how are you going to be an individual which has a mixed bag of everything, a good personality, a very well-rounded interpersonal skills, hard and soft skills both, of course, with the help of your professors, that are 95% of them full-time. You actually get an experience where that is why we are called as best university, and also the salary potential, which is much higher as compared to other cities. Moving on to the next slide, please. All right. So let me tell you, what do we offer? I am basically from the undergraduate admissions, but University of Delaware does have education up to PhD. And we offer 150 plus majors and 100 plus minors in across 9 colleges. And these are all undergraduate programs. So right from College of Engineering, we have everything that you might possibly look at, right from biomedical engineering to chemical engineering. By the way, we are ranked number 2 for our chemical engineering program in the nation. Computer science is one of our top major for international students. Specifically for Omani students, we have seen a huge demand in tech, where we have, in fact, Oman is a second important region right now where we are getting all international students from. Chemical, mechanical, biomedical, computer science, cyber security engineering. Arts and sciences, we have a whole plethora of programs for you to choose from. So right from music to arts and sciences, to psychology education, to astronomy, a lot more. Business and economics. So right from finance, accounting, business management, hospitality industry management, sports management, and business analytics, a lot programs for you to choose from. Also, agriculture and natural resources, where you learn about pre-veterinary programs, plant sciences. We have health sciences into biological sciences and a lot more programs offered. Let me tell you, this is the interesting part. Earth, ocean, and environment. Why? Because we are near to the ocean and we also have a college named Earth, Ocean, and Environment. It's unlike other typical engineering and business majors, but some of the students who has, kind of acquired taste to their interest, we have programs right from marine science to gematology, uh, climate change, sustainability, all of the upcoming majors, education and human development, public policy and administration. So if you have heard of the current president of the United States, uh, Joe Biden, and his wife, Dr. Jill Biden, both studied at the University of Delaware. And we also have a Biden Institute on campus, which is actually into public policy and administration, where you learn leadership skills, where you learn public policy and health. Um, Also, if you think about US from the perspective of medical or law, then University of Delaware gives you an option of taking a pre-med track where we have medical diagnostics, pre-physician assistants that you can start with, followed by your MCAT exam and then followed by your medical school. Also, in terms of law, we have something called as a pre-law, which is into criminal justice and society. Don't worry if you are not, if you're confused with what to do, we also have something called as undecided major. So you can come on the campus as an undecided student, get a hang of almost all the programs that are being offered, like attend different sessions. And by the end of your first semester, you can actually declare whatever major you are interested in. Now, this can be a double major, this can be a triple major, and this can be a major and a minor combination as well. So, for example, you are inclined towards engineering, but you also developed interest for music. So, you can do a major in engineering and a minor in music. And similarly, all these colleges give you an option of doing either a multidisciplinary program or an interdisciplinary program, completely as per the student. So, we are a very student centric university, and that's how we give you all those options. Also, talking about research, we are a tier one research university as per Carnegie Mellon, and we give you an option of doing research from year one itself. So when the time you are on campus, you can be a part of the research along with your professors. You don't have to wait for your second or your third year. You can do it right on the time you are on campus. All right. With that, I'll move on to the next slide. Okay, now let's see where are our students coming from, and where can you feel the students. So as you can see, we have 5% of all undergraduate students and 31% of graduate students at UT that are from outside of US. And we have more than 112 countries that our students come from. That basically means that the students have friends from across the globe. So you might experience Indian hospitality, you might experience South Korean festivals, Iran, Saudi Arabia, China, a variety of diverse campus, and also experience all of these cultures. And we also give you an option of doing something which is called as a winter program, where we were the first ones in the US to start that back in 1923, a study abroad program. So you can actually go and experience another country altogether in your winter break. Okay, moving on to the next slide, please. Thank you. So, a student academic success. Now, what does a student academic success means? That basically means where are you going to study? Who will be your peers? So we actually believe in a lot of customized and personalized attention. Hence, our student faculty ratio is 12:1. It's a small group where your faculty knows your name. It's not like a group of or a classroom full of 100 students where it's just a roll number. The faculty knows in and out about you. And that's how, they help you in terms of any opportunity that comes your way. The average class size comes to 35. And as I mentioned, 95% of our faculties are full-time, which basically means that you have less chances of your classes getting cancelled. But at the same time, you have an opportunity to go and reach out to the faculties anytime you want. Also, something about our faculties is most of them are Nobel laureates and active professionals in their fields that they're going to come and teach in the classroom. So these faculties are actually active professionals who are, for example, a business faculty who's actually into the business chain right now and comes with the live experience and the live trends and teach you on the campus. Also, if you see the retention rate, it says 90%. And all of these numbers that you see on the screen right now are accurate numbers because it's completely connected to our system. And something that I'm really proud of is the retention rate. Moving on to the next slide. Okay, so I've talked too much about academics, okay? Now, let me tell you what else can you do at a UD campus. So we have more than 400 plus active student clubs and organizations for you to be a part of. Now, these clubs and organizations are some related to your major. For example, if you are an engineering student, so we have P Delta club, we have an engineers club. Then for business students, we have investment and stock club. We have psychology clubs. So related to your majors as well as sports, dance, drama. We have our own magazines. We have our own newsletters. We have our own radio channel. We are also NCAA Division 1. So students interested in sports have an upper head because if you are a state level player in your country, you can be given an opportunity. Of course, the coach decides, and being an NCAA Division 1, we give you an option of playing nationally as well. So that's an upper edge over other universities as well. Also, our mascot is a blue hen, and we call our students also as blue hens. So we also have something called as a U dance. Now, what is a U dance? What is so special about it? It's not like the normal dance thing that we do. It's something that we do it for the community. We give it back, in our own ways. So all of these students, there is an activity that happens and it is called as U Dance, which happens once a year, and it's non-stop dancing for 12 to 24 hours. Now it can be any kind of step, okay? Don't worry on that. You dance and you raise funds for cancer patients. How cool is that, right? You are enjoying at the same time you're doing a very important thing. The donation for all of these cancer patients, which actually adds on to your community service. And being a privileged member, you are also giving back something to the society. Moving on to the next slide, please. Okay, so when I mentioned it, we are among the top 20 in the world for our student satisfaction. What I basically meant is at our bachelor's level, there are 95% of our students who are graduate or further pursuing education. 92% at the master's level and 99% at the doctoral level. Now, what does this stat mean? This basically means that we have very, very, very low dropouts. And that is the reason that makes us an ideal university, which has everything that a student needs, right? From hand holding to challenging to becoming, a good person, and also getting all the options in terms of stay back or job opportunities. Next slide, please. Okay, when I was talking about job opportunities so much, let me tell you where our graduates are working. As you can see my slide right now, it has Google, it has NASA, it has Amazon, it has Gore Associates. Now, Gore Creative Technologies Worldwide is something that you see is one of our alums company, and they also fund some students. We also have like the alumni donation that comes, and students those who need some scholarship, we actually work on those basis as well, like award them a little bit more. Also, as you can see, it's a mixed bag of all. So right from Marriott to Hilton to Walt Disney, uh, NASA. Now, let me tell you, when I was speaking about so much on the research part, one of the prototype of the Z Space NASA suit was actually developed at the University of Delaware. You can see the Apple logo. Let me tell you what happened with Apple. So, two of our undergrad students back in 2015, 2013, in fact, were working on a technology called Fingerworks, which was later on seen and bought by Apple, which they use in their iPads and iPhones as the touchscreen technology. Now, that's another proud moment for UD because the touchscreen technology was actually developed there. So next time you see a touchscreen and a smart gadget, remember Delaware has its uh, presence there. Okay. Moving on to the next slide, please. What kind of student profile do we look at? Now, we basically look at, very importantly, your scores. Why? Because we don't have any other prerequisite for you like an SOP or an interview. We take it on one-on-one basis, and 50% of our admitted graduate students profile is something like this that you see on our screen. By the way, we are SAT, ACT optional, but if you have a good SAT score, that enhances your chances over others. There are some of the competitive majors like business engineering, which fills up really, really fast. And that's how we need a good math from you. Next slide, please. Okay, so talking about our admission requirements, what do we want from you? We want good grades from you, as I mentioned. We require your transcripts, like your results from your 9th grade. So 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, all 4 years of mark sheet, with an online UD online application or a common app or collation app, whatever is comfortable with you. We are on all the 3 portals. We need a transcript that has a 3.0 GPA. Now it depends, and we will actually evaluate the GPA. So you don't have to worry. You just have to send in the transcripts to us and we will evaluate it for you. Okay. As I mentioned, our business and engineering programs are very, very competitive, and that will require strong math. Also, students who are undecided major can actually select something called as university studies. And there's no harm in doing that, because let me tell you, 20% of the international students actually go through undecided major. Because why not explore, have a bit interest in exploration and see what suits you. English proficiency. We either, accept TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, anything in these 3 categories that you can submit, or else we also have an English Language Institute on campus. It's ELI, that actually gives you a conditional admission and a smooth transition to the University of Delaware after completing your English requirements. Letter of recommendations from your teacher, advisor, or whoever has seen your growth. Please make sure the letter of recommendation is not another template. It is all about you. The person who's writing your letter of recommendation should know about you. So for that, you don't have to go to your teachers or counselor just a day prior submitting your letter of recommendation. Give them time, sit with them, understand, what suits your need, and accordingly, they will be able to write it down, the way you would want it. SAT, ACT is optional, but again, if you have submitted your SAT and if you have a good EBRW, which is the reading writing section, we can waive off the English requirement, and that also gives you an upper edge on the other students, those who have not submitted for them. Last but not the least, we have rolling admissions. So the best time to apply, if you're thinking to start in fall, which is August, you need to apply by Feb. And if you're thinking to start in February, which is spring, then you need to apply by November. We at University of Delaware are very, very quick in our turnaround time. So we give you a decision within 2 weeks of completing your application. The only condition is the application should be complete. Unless it is complete, it will not move to the next person to have a review of that. Okay. And we will be the first university that gives out to you the scholarship amount at the same time. So when you get the offer letter, you get to know what scholarship has been awarded so that you don't have to wait on your scholarship and you have ample time to decide on what is the right fit for you. Moving on to the next slide. All right, when I was speaking about scholarships, so what do we offer? We give you scholarships from $5,000 to $18,000 annually. Now, this is completely on your merit. That means there are no extra steps. It's an automatic consideration. And the highest scholarship that you can get is 50% of the tuition fee. Our tuition fee is $36,000. And our total I-20 cost for 1 year, which has your tuition, your living, your boarding, your books, your insurance, everything for 1 year will go to $55,000. Now, with the scholarship, that amount does come down. And the scholarships are also renewable for all the 4 years. But you need to keep up with your GPA. So the same GPAs that we have already, seen and awarded you need to keep up with your GPA and, of course, do your best. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. All right. The page that you see on your screen right now has all our socials, right from Twitter to Facebook to Instagram to some of wonderful things that are mentioned, which is the virtual visit and the application link. These are some of the helpful tools for you where you can go and see more about University of Delaware, because there's seriously a lot more for you to explore and to see at the University of Delaware in terms of admissions, in terms of innovation, in terms of the first video that you saw, which says that, we believe in ideas and that's how ideas become giant. And we at Delaware give you every opportunity that you need, right from, grooming to helping you with academics, to making sure that you are going to, that you are going to succeed in your field. And that's how we have 95% of our students, those who are employed with all of these companies and earning somewhere in between $35,000 to $45,000 annually. So with that, you also see my email ID, and I'm based out of India. We are almost in the same time zone, just 1.5 hours ahead. So that's not a problem at all. And I would love to meet you in person, hopefully next time when we have this kind of session in your school campus and, discuss with you a lot more options and tell you a lot more about the university. But with right now, I have given you a small gist of what University of Delaware looks like and, what are the options available. You also have my email ID, so please feel free to connect to me and I'll be happy to help. I think with that, I'll end my presentation, and I know that I'm ending it a little early because I want to keep more time for question answers and want to make this more interactive. Thank you for listening to me so patiently.
Thank you very much for the informative session. And we are sure that the process of exploring and inquiring has begun in the minds of the students and parents. I would like to hand it over to the moderator.
Good evening, ma'am. And
Good evening,
thank you
ma'am.
very much for a wonderful guidance and presentation through which you introduced the University of Delaware. I would like to put forth the following questions raised by our students in the chat box. The first one, ma'am. Are there any entrance exams to get into Delaware University?
Absolutely no. So we actually look at your grades and we admit you. We don't have any other entrance exam. We don't have any interviews as well. We see the graph of a student right from the ninth grade onwards to evaluate, to see what a student has done in terms of English proficiency, in terms of all of these 4 years, and that's how we award and give out the decision.
Thank you, ma'am. Do you provide internships in any different countries or companies?
Sure. Yes, ma'am. So it completely depends upon the employer that comes, and because we have this recruitment drive that happens twice on campus, where all of these companies come and recruit students for internships and job opportunities. That could be outside the country as well, because all of these companies definitely have their offices across the globe.
Ma'am, the next question. Do you have MOU with any Indian university?
All right. So MOU with Indian University is actually in the pipeline right now. We don't have anything existing, but we are working on such agreements. But for Indian students, it's very, very easy. I am myself an Indian, born and brought up here, and I am a Mumbai girl. So whoever knows India and knows Mumbai, let me tell you that it is a wonderful place to be. In fact, it makes me proud to say the second largest population that we have on our campuses are Indians. And that is really a good thing for students, because we also have Indian associations that actually help students a lot, and also alumni connect. So for example, if you're Indian students who would want to connect to our alumni and, have a word with them, with current students to know more, because I think student connects to student really well, because they've already gone through the journey, and that's how we can actually get that facilitated as well.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering us. We have many queries, and our
Please.
students can access the mobile app, and the questions will be directly addressed. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your valuable answers. We request our participants to kindly fill in the feedback forms posted in the chat box.
As we draw to the end of this enriching session, I deem it my great privilege to propose the vote of thanks. We extend our heartfelt thanks to our eminent speaker, Dr. Annie, for all her words of motivation. Thank you, ma'am. We express our gratitude for the spokesperson, Ms. JAMILA, for sharing us details and giving us an overview of the career guidance. Thank you, ma'am. Our deepest sense of appreciation and gratitude to Chairman Dr. Shivakumar Manikam and the members of the Board of Directors, Indian Schools in Oman. A heartfelt thanks to the President, Mr. Ajayan Poyara, and the members of the Indian School Bosch's School Management Committee and the Principal of the school, Dr. Bhavesh Valrao. We request the participants to kindly fill in the feedback form posted on the chat window.
Heartfelt thanks to our platinum sponsor, Jane deemed to be University, gold sponsor, De Montfort University, silver sponsor, Dallas Baptist University, USA, Grey Matters, SP Jain School of Global Management, Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research, bronze sponsor, Middle East College and SP Jain School of Global Management, digital marketing partner, Spectrum and Trifle, media partner, The Arabian Stories, and valued donors, powered by our support sponsors. Over to the video.
An event of this kind requires the coordination of a committed team. Thank you to the ISB team for making Avenue 2022 possible. Thank you to each of the teachers, students, and parents for being a part of this session.
Secret of success is to be ready when your opportunity comes. With these uplifting words, I, Anuradha,
And I, Supriya,
wish you all a nice evening. Gentle reminder to fill in the feedback form. Every attendee who submits the feedback form will receive a digital certificate. See you in